Alright, y'all, welcome back to another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday. Even though it is not Wednesday, I told you I was going to try and get on track with this stuff, so wanted to make sure that I at least put a video out there. And what I wanted to cover today are the 4 biggest keto myths. Now, this list could go forever, but as you can see, I only have so much space on my whiteboard here, so I kept it at 4 today, and I'll probably do a follow-up, just other things that I see, but wanted to go over the main 4, okay? So the first one is you should get the keto flu. Oh, can't even spell. Let's see. Flu. There we go. So this is something where people will join our 21-day program, right? And they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm scared because I've heard about the keto flu and I know that I just got to stay strong while I detox and that it'll pass by and all that stuff. And I'm here to tell you that it won't pass by if you are not getting enough electrolytes, okay? So one of the things that you have to understand is when you start going low carb, when you start eating whole foods, put it this way. When you go to the hospital for dehydration, right? Like, let's just say, oh my gosh, I was there because they said I was dehydrated. Do they put water into you? Do they just say, hey, here's a gallon of water, drink this? No, they fill you with electrolytes. And that's because that's what truly hydrates you. And so, especially when it comes to eating real food and you don't have a bunch of like processed food and junk food and sugar and carbs, well, with that water retention that you are carrying, well, that water starts to go away. And when it goes away, your electrolytes go with it. And so when you are not replenishing them, you are going to feel like garbage. And again, I say real food because it doesn't matter what diet you're doing. If you are eating whole real foods and minimal carbs, you are going to have to use electrolytes, okay? So the big thing here is, you know, the most common misconception that I hear in regards to that is, well, I'm sugar detoxing, and this is just part of it. But it causes people to quit because they think, hey, I tried this keto thing, but it made me feel like crap. And it wasn't the diet. It was the fact that you lost your electrolytes and you didn't replenish them. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are doing that, is replenishing those electrolytes, or you are going to feel like crap. So the keto flu is not normal. Okay, so if you're someone who started it and you're like, oh, I really wanted to do this thing because I know it's going to help me, it's going to lower my blood pressure, it's going to get me off type 2 diabetes, it's going to do all these things, but you felt this, that's not normal. It was a deficiency in electrolytes, okay? Next thing is all that matters, again, these are myths, remember that. All that matters is keeping carbs below 20 grams. Oh, that's supposed to say, I can't, gosh. I'm just messing up today. There we go. Below 20 grams. So that's another one that I hear quite a bit, right? People will say, well, you know, I don't know why I'm not losing weight because I'm keeping my carbs below 20 grams. Well, it's obviously much deeper than that, and that's not what you should be doing. There's not some magic number where it's like, well, if you keep your carbs below 20 grams, you're going to be in a... It doesn't matter, right? What matters is eating the right foods, knowing how to structure those foods, eating enough foods, right? Because you may be eating 20 grams of carbs, but you're also eating 20 grams of fat, and you're also eating like 20 grams of protein. And then you're on this starvation thing and your body is pushing so hard just to keep you alive, it's not going to resume its normal metabolic function because it's just trying to survive right now, right? But the other thing, and it kind of goes into my last one, but a lot of marketing companies are extremely smart, right? So you might think that you are eating 20 grams of carbs a day, but come to find out you're eating 80 to 100 grams of carbs a day. Okay, so this is not the main thing here. All that matters is not keeping your carbs below 20 grams. So if you're eating 700 grams of fat and 700 grams of protein, but you're keeping your carbs below 20 grams, that might be an issue as well, okay? They actually did this study, and it's one of my favorite studies, but they did a study where they overfed people on different macronutrients, right? So they overfed them on fats, they overfed them on protein, and they overfed them on carbs, 3 different groups. The group that did not gain any weight was protein. So if you're going to overeat on anything, make sure that it's a lean protein, okay? But anyways, that's besides the point. So next thing is calories are all that matters, right? A lot of people will try to try like, well, I'm just going to, Joe, that seems like a lot of food, and I don't want to do that because that's going to make me fat. And I'm like, hey, listen here, Susie. Do you think that it would be a smart business decision to make people get fat? Like, let's just think about that logically for a second. Do you think that it would be as smart to say, yeah, I have this thing that's going to help you lose 8 to 15 pounds and or 4 to 10 inches in 21 days, but I'm going to make sure that I make you fat first? It wouldn't be smart, right? But the other thing, and let's just be, now all jokes aside, is you've tried this before, haven't you? You've done the whole just calories that matter. You've started the 1,200 calorie thing thinking that that was going to be the most magical thing that you ever did. And it may have worked in the beginning, but you found out long term that it didn't work. And it could be for a multitude of reasons. Either one, you were extremely heavy and eating a very minimal amount of food. Number two, your food quality was absolute dog crap, right? Because obviously, one of the things that matters way more than calories, and I know that you probably, your favorite fitness influencer is like, being a calorie deficit, right? All that matters is being a calorie deficit. Well, then why are we still fat? Why is obesity continuing to climb? Because there's calories on everything, right? You go to the store, everything in a box has calories on it. The ground beef that you buy has the calories on it. So people are aware of calories, and they've done 1,200 calorie diets, 900 calorie diets. There is someone that I worked with a while back, and she was coming off of Optavia, and she said that it was like 800 calories a day, and then it was all from like bars and stuff like that. And she's like, well, it worked at first, but then it stopped working. I'm like, well, that could have been one of two reasons. Either one, again, it kind of goes back to earlier where your body's starting to push you back and trying to fight. And here's the other argument that people make. Well, if not eating enough food, well, how come these kids in these other countries are super skinny? Hey, do your thing. Try to starve yourself. See if it works out. All right? It's so much deeper than that. We have different genetics. There's, I won't even go because I'm trying to stay on task here, right? But anyways, calories are not all that matter, right? Because you've tried that stuff. Like I've said 1,000 times, you've tried the low calorie stuff. You've tried just tracking these things, and it hasn't worked. So the things that matter are food quality. You got to make sure that you're eating real food. Stop falling trap to the things that are out there that promise low calories. Like, I get it. Okay, this granola bar is only 90 calories. Okay, well, you got to eat 12 of them to feel any type of satisfaction. That's number one. Number two is, are you seriously trying to sit there and tell me that you believe something that is man-made and not God-given or earth-given, you think that the man-made stuff is better for you? Like, make that make sense. Like, hey, I know that this had to go to a factory and have all these chemicals put in it, and it has 10,000 ingredients in it, but hey, it's below 100 calories. You really think that's better? Well, if you do, I can't help you. I'm sorry. So anyways, that is not all that matters. And then the last one is you should track net carbs. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this is when people work with us, we don't have them do these things, right? We don't have them track their carbs. We don't have them track their calories. We don't have them track their net carbs especially, but we simplify everything so that the only thing that you have to do is show up and follow the thing. Now, do some people really try to overthink it? Yeah, but they don't last. They get themselves out of the program, or they get kicked out because they're doing too much overthinking. Right, so when it comes to net carbs, like I mentioned earlier with the below 20 grams of carbs, is these marketers have gotten extremely smart. They know that you're trying to be healthy, right? And so what they're going to do is they're going to take this Snickers bar, they're going to take out the sugar, They're going to replace it with sugar alcohols. They're going to slap the keto label on it and make you think that you're doing the right thing because somehow, in some way, fiber or sugar alcohols makes carbs go away. It's like this magical thing. No, it doesn't. Right? So when you think, and they market this, and you probably fall, I know I did, right? I was super pumped when I would see, ice cream that was, oh my gosh, it's only 4 net carbs. Like I could have all this ice cream that I want because if I just eat the whole thing, that's like a total of 20 grams of carbs a day. And guess what? I get to stay below 20. But then I kept getting fatter. And things were happening. I felt like crap. I'm like, what is going on here? Like I thought I was supposed to be losing weight on this, but instead I'm gaining weight. Comment me if that's happened to you, because this has to change, right? We can't keep going. And that's why I always say keto is not on a box. Keto doesn't have a label. It is real food. Okay, so that's the one thing that you have to stick to. So if you're tracking net carbs and you're one, and here's the thing, is some of you are coming in here from other groups, right? Or maybe you've done something in the past and you're just like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about because I lost X amount of weight. Well, then why are you here? If you've done this, why are you here? Are you just here to steal my stuff? Because that's a different conversation, right? But in all reality, you're here because it stopped working. So even if you had success in the past, and it stopped working, because the other thing that people like to talk about, and I'll probably do another video on this of like the different types of ketos, right? Like I said, I could have made this 10 things. But let's just say we probably heard the term lazy keto before, right? Which is essentially you're not tracking anything, you're eating all the keto labeled products, which are very expensive, by the way, which is another thing that a myth is that, oh my gosh, keto is so expensive. It is when you're buying boxed food. Right? Because I can get a whole thing of ground beef, 5 pounds worth for what, $20 maybe? And I could get a small little box of 4 Snicker bar keto labeled things for like $30. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, back to the net carbs thing, because I'm digressing here. If you've done net carbs and it didn't work, I want you to know that it's not your fault. Matter of fact, none of these are your fault. It's just how it's marketed. Right, so I'm not here to make you feel bad, make you feel silly, because I've fallen for every single one of these. When I first started the keto thing, no one talked about this, right? And when they did, I was like, man, I kind of feel like crap, but I like really want to lose this weight. Like, oh, here's some ketones, right? You need some ketones, then you'll feel good. I'm like, okay, and it's like $400. No, thank you. The other thing that I was doing was keeping my carbs below 20. Well, actually, it was 50. Right? It was 50 total carbs, 20 net carbs. That's kind of how I started. It was like, oh, if you keep your carbs below 50 and then like 20 net, you're good. You can eat all the food that didn't work. Calories. All I did was track calories. Right? And I even coached people on this. And some of you have been in this group for a long time. It used to not be KLD Weight Loss Secrets. Now you would have to go back 5-6 years to figure that out. But I used to teach people protein and calories, and that's what most people do today. Do you know why they do that? I don't know, I'm going on a rant here. Do you want to know why? Comment why if you want to know why. Did you comment it? I hope you did. The reason they do protein and calories, right? Like here, track your protein, fill in the rest with calories. And they market it as like this special thing that they're doing. It's the most sustainable thing in the world. But here's why they do it. Because it's easy to sell. Guys, doing what I do, and you know this if you work with us, it is a lifestyle change. That's why it's called keto lifestyle diet. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that, and that's because we implement carbs back in, make your diet super sustainable, yada, yada, yada. We'll save that for another video. But they do it because it's easy to sell. If I sit here and I tell you, hey, you have to eat real foods. You have to make sure that you're structuring your meals properly. You have to start the first 21 days having the KLD coffee or tea, which requires you to put butter and coconut oil and heavy cream in it, which might sound a little nasty to you. Well, that's like, you got to have a dedicated person that wants to do that. But if I say, hey, track your protein. Here's how to get your protein and fill in the rest of your calories with whatever you want. Try to stick to whole foods, but if you want that Snickers bar, Susie, you have that Snickers bar. Meanwhile, you're wondering why you always have cravings, why you're always falling off plan, why you're always binge eating, because that little bit of what you had is never enough. Can I get a yes, that's me in the comments if you've had that? Because I tried that thing. I tried the anything in moderation. And you know what kept happening? I just wanted more of that thing. But this gives me hard rules. And I need hard rules. It's so much easier for me to say no to something than it is to say, let me see how much I can fit in here without going completely crazy. Maybe if I get the snack size thing, it'll like magically make me not want a lot more of it. And that never worked. But I digress. So anyways, you should get the keto flu? No, you should not. Make sure your electrolytes are in check. All that matters is keeping your carbs below 20 grams. Absolutely not. There is so much more than that. Structure of your meals, eating enough, and getting rid of cravings, there's a bunch of stuff that goes into that. Calories are all that matters. They are not all that matters. And I would say, hey, riddle me this. Do you really think that 300 calories from steak is the same as 300 calories from a donut? Now, some of you might be smart and say, oh, a calorie is a calorie. Okay, go do your donut. I'll do my steak. We'll see who has better health. We'll see who loses weight faster. We'll see who does it more sustainably. And we'll see who completely gets rid of cravings. Okay? You should track net carbs. No, that's just a good way for marketers to sell you their products and basically make you feel like you're doing the right thing, but in reality you're not. So anyways, if this was helpful for you and you guys like these kinds of videos, I want you to leave me a fire emoji in the comments, and it influences me to keep making more of these. And if you feel like this will help somebody else, maybe you have someone who's just starting this journey and you feel like this video will help them, make sure that you either tag them in this, or if you're watching it inside of the group, make sure that you invite them to the group, because obviously you know that if you're in the group, we go through a lot more stuff, right? We have daily calls, we have all that stuff. You can apply for the keto camp in there, and all that stuff. But anyways, I hope that this was helpful for you. I'll talk to you guys next time.